What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I have a quick video for you guys. Wanted to talk about Bronny James, and wanted to talk about Bronny James because he had a very good weekend this last weekend. Started off AAU ball, playing for Strive for Greatness, and it was probably the best that Bronny has looked. And so I wanted to talk about that, talk about his performance and what this kind of means for him going forward, and if it could change some things for him in terms of the outlet or outlook on his career, and just kind of how things will be hopefully moving forward for him. So I want to talk about that, but more importantly, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. So make sure you leave your thoughts on Bronny down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of his game, his performance, all that. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So, like I said in the intro, Bronny James had a very good weekend playing for Strive for Greatness. He made his AAU debut this weekend, his last year playing AAU ball. And if this is kind of the performance that we can get out of Bronny, then it's going to be a good AAU season for him. I would say that the biggest complaint with Bronny so far in his high school basketball career has been that he is not very aggressive. I think a lot of us see that Bronny is skilled and he can do a lot of different things on the basketball court. He's skilled, he's athletic, he can shoot the ball a little bit, but he seems to be just content playing a role and being kind of a role player and not being aggressive and having the ball in his hands and doing things that way. And so this weekend, it was a very pleasant change of pace for him, where Bronny was very aggressive. The ball was in his hands a ton for Strive for Greatness, and he was doing things that personally I don't know if I've ever really seen him consistently do on a basketball floor. Whether it was running the pick and roll and pulling up off of screens there where the defender went under, and him consistently shooting that three ball and he was knocking it down. Whether it was using that pick and getting into the lane and finishing with a number of different finishes there, whether it's floaters or going to the hoop and finishing through contact, and then just overall having the ball in his hands and isolating one-on-one and taking his guy and hitting pull-up jumpers that way. He was doing it in a number of different ways, and it was really fun to watch, and it was something that I don't think I have seen from Bronny, or at least haven't seen him do on a consistent basis so far in his high school basketball career. Now, in terms of specific performances, in one game he had 21 points, another game he had 28 points, and so those are very good performances, especially for AAU. When you're talking about AAU, normally scoring is down a little bit in terms of individuals, just because they're such talented teams. You got the best players from every high school playing on one team, and so scoring gets a little more evenly distributed, and you're not going to have guys averaging 30 points a game. That normally doesn't happen. And so when a guy can get into the high 20s, that's a really good performance in AAU basketball. And so for Bronny to go 21, 28 back-to-back games, I think it was really promising for him. And like I said, he was doing it in a number of different ways, which was good to see. And he was doing things that, like I said, I don't think we've seen him do on a basketball floor, which is consistently hit pull-up jump shots, be aggressive in isolation situations, and really look to be aggressive with the ball in his hands. Now, this Strive for Greatness team, I don't necessarily think it's a great AAU team. I could be wrong, but they didn't seem like there was a whole lot of other guys that would be taking the ball out of his hands, at least in this first tournament that they played in. I don't know if there's guys missing or who he all has on his team, but like I said, there wasn't another noticeable star player from the highlights that I watched that didn't seem present. And so I think it's a really good thing for Bronny. Without having another star player, the ball can be in his hands. He can be the guy that plays the point guard position and can be aggressive and do things for himself and kind of making the team go. And so I think that this is a great situation for him, especially if this is the team that they'll have moving forward throughout the EYBL season. Because like I said, I didn't think it seemed like there was another star player. And if there was, I don't think that player necessarily played like that, at least at the guard position. I don't think another player played like that this weekend. Now, what does this necessarily mean for Bronny moving forward? Well, if he can keep up this aggressive play and he can play like this throughout the EYBL season and put on these type of performances against other high profile type teams, against other great recruits, then I definitely think that he will be rising up the rankings. Right now, Bronny is ranked somewhere, kind of depending on the site, right around 40 is probably the average for him, somewhere in there. And so I think if he plays like he did these last couple games, especially the games where he had 21 and 28, then I think that Bronny could find himself squeaking into like the top 30, top 25. I don't think that would be ridiculous. If he puts it together and we finally start seeing aggressive Bronny, I don't think that's a ridiculous thing to think, or think that he can get to that level. And so I think it's a good thing for him. Hopefully he can keep up this aggressive mentality, but we'll just have to wait and see. And maybe this is a conversation for a different video, but I think that's kind of one of the things that has hindered Bronny in his development, is where he's played high school ball at and kind of the teams that he's been around his entire career. He's always played on loaded high school teams, AAU teams. That's kind of been the thing, is where he's always had all-star type teammates, whether it's going all the way back to the blue chip days when he was a really young kid, and now heading into high school and playing at Sierra Canyon. I get the logic of him playing against future NBA guys in practice every day, and that's gonna make you better. But I also think there's some value in being the man and having to be the guy that's gonna score 25, 30 points to carry you to a potential state playoff game type situation. I think that's really valuable, and I think that's something that you should have to go through. And now maybe Bronny will finally get that this year at Sierra Canyon, with them losing Amari Bailey and him, at least to my knowledge, being the best guard that they got returning, and should be in a position to be the lead guard for them. But who knows? They're always bringing in new guys. They're always recruiting guys. And so it'll be interesting to see. But I think that's something where, if it doesn't necessarily work out for Bronny, I think that's where I'd kind of point to in terms of why he's not as aggressive as he should. And so it'll be interesting to see. But it was a good weekend for Bronny. Good to see him play well. Hopefully he can continue to be aggressive, like I said, and look for his own shot. But yeah, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below on Bronny. Let me know what you think of him, his game, all that. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys later.